Morning team, hope all is well. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. A little bit of a different intro than usual. Rather than the kitchen, this is going to be outside. Today we are in for a kind of a vlog style day in the life, but with the kind of concept of the video being how to manage hunger when dieting. We all know that this is probably the hardest part of dieting itself. I've dropped my food since the last nutrition video that we did. And then you'll also be able to see the kind of the changes to my food sources and the amount of them I'm having and the timings that I'm having them as well, to be in line with managing hunger to the best of my ability. So loads of little tips and tricks along the day. We've woken up, we have had our water, 1.5 litres of water with our morning supplements. I'm out for a walk with George now at the moment, pulling me along here. And then let's get cracking with the day. Also, the thing I always forget to do is an update where I'm sitting at the moment. So woke up this morning about 85.1. It's been kind of 85 to 86 this week, all over the place for some strange reason. So we're definitely getting close, feeling the physique really change now, which is always nice that the longer that you diet. At the beginning, if you lose a kilo, in a week, it's relatively not going to make that much of a change because body fat is so high. But now losing a kilo a week because body fat is already quite low, you're really starting to see some cool changes. So I'm very excited to bring new physique updates to all of you guys. And yeah, let's get on with this walk. Okay, so we've made it to meal one. The time is 8:03. So I usually fast until about this time and sometimes even a little bit later, depending on the day. We're going to run with veggies behind me, sizzling away. George is also snoring over there, if you can hear that. Meal one is going to be egg whites in this really convenient bottle or tub, and then also some veg as well. So let me put this in the pan and I'll give you a little bit of feedback on this. Okay, meal number one is going to be to fast in the morning. Don't eat immediately upon wake. The reason for this is because if I eat at 6:30 in the morning, and then if I finish my final meal at 7 p.m, that is then going to be, I believe, 12.5 hours worth of time between my first and my last meal. So I will kick my first meal out to 8:03 today, which you just seen a second ago. And that gives me about 11 hours of feeding. Sometimes I'll even fast a little bit longer. Just with me going into the office, it makes a little more sense to do my meal here rather than bringing two into the office itself. So fast a little bit in the morning, especially for me because I'm not hungry in the morning, but I am starving in the evening. I'd much rather push my meals a little bit closer to the time when I'm the most hungry. Okay, we are in for meal number one. This is going to be 250 grams of egg whites. This is going to be about 100 grams of mixed veg. It actually tore apart. You can see the peppers, aubergine, carrots, onions, all that kind of stuff in there. And we also then have half an avocado in this meal itself. Okay, so you guys are lucky here. You're going to get two top tips in this meal. One, I'm eating a very, very low calorie meal. I'm barely even hungry at the moment, by the way. Therefore, why would I waste 900 calories in a breakfast? It's delicious, don't get me wrong, but I'm not even hungry now. Like I said earlier, the time when I am the hungriest is in the evening time. So my highest calorie meals are going to be placed around then. Okay, so you need to find out what time of the day you're the hungriest and have the highest calorie meals around then. And then tip number two is going to be to have 100 to 150 grams of fruit and or veg with every single meal that you have. This is pivotal, guys, because with fruit and veg comes fiber, and fiber is a huge driver of satiety and making you full and feeling like the stomach lining is stretching in your stomach to give you that sensation of fullness, which actually sends a message to the brain to tell you that you actually are full. So 100 to 150 grams of fruit and or veg with every single meal. So just got into the office, it's about 9 a.m. or so, and beautiful free office as well. It's actually Anzac Day, which is a bank holiday over here, and no one ever comes in other than usually myself, maybe one or two other people, which is really nice. Just get the run of the place, just can sit down and just be a little more relaxed, and with camera and filming and all that kind of stuff as well. So waiting for the coffee machine to heat up, gonna have my coffee and then we'll get straight into check-ins. Okay, tip number three, use caffeine. Caffeine is an appetite suppressant. This doesn't mean you have to have 15 cups of coffee a day, but the use of it, particularly early in the morning, can be really useful to help with that intermittent fast, and even post meal one can also help with that as well. Like I said, doesn't mean you want to drink 14-15 coffees a day, but do utilize it to our advantage in the morning. I also don't know, and it's probably because I'm literally eating chicken and potatoes for pretty much every meal, not to give away my tips for the rest of the day, but coffee and just meals in general. So delicious. I don't know what it is. I think it's the sensitivity or the palatability of food just become so nice, and something like coffee I just really look forward to every single morning. Hunger management tip number 4, I believe, Rat, is going to be herbal teas. And what I'm using here is a peppermint tea, okay, you can see in here, which is fantastic for minimizing hunger for myself. So this is a nice one that I like to use as well. It's about 10:30 now and my body and my stomach is starting to scream at me. High expenditure day yesterday, rest day, and a lower food day means I always get a bit hungry today. So this kind of gives you about 30 minutes. I have it, and it kind of fills the gap for about 30 minutes each one. There's no caffeine in it, there's 0 calories, it tastes lovely, and it's a nice easy tool for me to mitigate any hunger that's coming on board right now. So I know this doesn't look too appealing, but we are in for meal number 2, and it's about 10 past 11, I believe, and we're going to go with 100 grams of oats, 150 grams of frozen blueberries, 15 grams of peanut butter, and also 40 grams of whey protein. This is going to be my pre-workout meal. This is 2 hours before I train. So you will have seen my pre-workout meal here, and kind of diet tip number 5 is going to be to stick to my big 5 food sources, and that is going to be carbohydrates, are going to be oats, it's going to be sweet potato, white potato, fruit, and veg. Those for me have the highest amount of satiety, and actually research will show us that if you look up the satiety index of food, those are in the top 5. Things like jasmine rice and jam and honey and bagels and dates and things like that, they're not in there. Okay, they're easily digestible food source. This needs to be a more complex, slower digesting food source that allows us to feel fuller for longer. So stick to the big 5 as I'm doing here, and you will see throughout the majority of my meals. So gym session is done, great upper body session in the books, hence why I have wet hair, so excuse that, just out of the shower. This meal is going to be potato, chicken, veg. Okay, it sounds so simple, but those are the type of meals that fill me up the most and create the most volume and satiety. Wait till, look, even I'll bring this up here. Look at the size of this meal. Look at the absolute sizes. 500 grams of potato, I have some chicken in it, I'm going to show you an overhead view. It's almost the size of my bloody head. Like, look at that. Crazy. Absolutely mental. So volume is this tip. Add volume to your meals. Even if it's adding some iceberg, I couldn't even add some iceberg lettuce to this, but if my food got lower, lettuce, rocket, spinach, lots of veg, chicken breasts, potato. I'm loving mashed potato at the moment. It's really nice. It seems to volumize the potatoes even more. So that's going to be meal for now, and we'll go into final meal then later. So just to give you an overhead view, we have our 500 grams of mash, we have chicken, which you've cooked in the oven, and then some sriracha, and then just some simple mixed veg then as well. Okay guys, so we are on our final meal of the day. It's about 7 p.m, that's usually my final meal time, and we have potato, again, veg, and then some beef mince then as well, 5% beef mince, which I really enjoy. Same kind of volume as the previous meal, but just a slightly different source overall. To finish today's video and the final tip on managing hunger, it's going to be around timing of the meal. I will not hammer this meal in 5 minutes. I don't eat any of my meals quickly. There's a lot of research that shows that the longer time that you take to eat your meal, the more satiated you will be off the back of that. So taking your time, putting the fork down in between each bite, taking a glass or a sip of water, chewing your food properly, taking 20 bites per chew, taking 15-20 minutes to actually enjoy and be present with your meal is going to allow you to mitigate and manage hunger much easier. Every client that ever comes to me and says, I'm hungry, you can put all these tips and tricks, but if you eat your meal too quickly, you're never going to be filled after. So that's going to be our final tip for today. Other than that, hopefully all of you guys have enjoyed today's video and taken some value from it. If you did, make sure you drop a like, and any comments or any questions that you do have, drop in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you're following, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.